Hello everyone, happy Friday. I only realised it was Friday today, and happy Friday's not a thing, so I don't know why I said it. Might as well say happy lunchtime. But yeah, man, hope you are having a nice Friday or lunchtime, as the case may be. This is Baldy Chris, using obviously a completely unscripted introduction while talking complete shite. Yeah, sort of motoring through the series on playing as the 8 characters. I think partly because it's obviously a very finite series indeed, and in particular because my run as the robot was disastrously short, so that's a quick video if you want to watch it. I'm going to move on to the Paradox now, which is a character I never greatly liked, simply because when I'd unlocked him I was still scrounging around for hegemony credits to actually buy weapons off the various vendors within the breach, and you have to pay 5 credits to play as the Paradox, so I never really felt like it was a worthwhile acquisition. As you can see now I've got 1426, so I really have no other need for them other than using them on the pay-to-play characters, such as the Paradox, who we're playing as now, or the Gunslinger, who will be the final video in this series, and my go-to character these days. Quite happy to pay to play as him. So we'll go straight in and see what we get. Now this is why you pay to play as the Paradox, because he has slightly more starting items than the standard characters do, and they're given partly at random, so you have to see what you actually have to start off with. So we've got the rusty sidearm, which is that the convict's pistol? I can't 100% remember. And you also get a randomised second gun as well, I think, from everything that's been unlocked. So we've got the flash ray this time, which I quite like the as the description of it, but I'm not especially fond of the weapon itself. It does fire quickly, but I don't find it a particularly effective one. But as a starter, it's always a good thing to have. No active item, but you do start with a random passive item. So a mimic tooth necklace, which unlocks all chests. Ooh, sounds really good, but the way it unlocks all chests is because they are all mimics, and that therefore means they run the risk of damaging you quite severely, but you don't need keys to open them. I will obviously struggle to remember that throughout this run, so yeah, you just be able to fight them open and get whatever the contents might be. I don't know if that applies to items within the rat chests, so it might be worth trying to head to the rat floor just in case, and then this video will probably end up in both my character series and then the what is potentially infinite quest for the finished gun series. So let's just crack on with this for now. Yeah, it's definitely not the Marines pistol. The magazine size is too small. So yeah, I think it's the convicts. We'll just say it is definitely not pilots either. Okay, so I suppose an obvious thing to try and talk about is how to actually unlock the Paradox. Now, unfortunately, it's easier to show than describe, but I haven't got any ready means of being able to show it to you. The way it is done is that once you've beaten the game fully, oh, cheap hit. Yeah, again, I really shouldn't have stayed in that corner. Let's just roll over these little globulins, kill them off. Oh, we got a chest. Oh, it's just going to be a mimic, of course. So let's keep a safe distance. In fact, let's use the flash ray to hopefully quell it quickly. That was most unfortunate, I think. Avoided the jam round at least, but then it exploded into other rounds. So we've got a welcome bit of health back, and is that platinum bullets? No, it's not. They look similar. Clear Gunstone. What does that do? Negates poison. Okay, well, it was a freebie, apart from the hit I took. Well, in fact, the hit's been negated, hasn't it? But I also took another hit as well. That was entirely my own fault. So yes, to unlock the paradox, you have to. Oh god, may run out of video before I get the explanation done. You have to have completed the game once, and I think beaten a past as well. And then once you're playing as any other character, you will somewhere within the second, third, and fourth floors. Potentially, I think it's something like a 20% chance. You will see a cosmic rift appear on the floor, which is what would be the ideal thing to show you. But like I say, no easy means of doing that. What it does look a bit like is the floor within the forge on the fifth, within the blacksmith shop on the fifth floor of the forge. So that will make an appearance in some of my other videos, I think, with the pilot. So I've got all the way to the dragon fight, so you're quite likely to be able to skip towards the end of that video and have a look and see what the effect on the floor looks like. It's sort of shimmery purple, much like the paradox himself. And if you do see that, what you do is you walk on top of it and then press X to interact with it, and then your character will absorb the effect and look a bit like the paradox does now. Then all you have to do is beat the game, and either the past for the character you're playing as, or bullet hell if you've got that unlocked. The past being the easier option to manage of the two. So don't need to buy a key, you can't afford it anyway. Don't need ammo just yet. Basically can't afford anything in here just yet. So that's how you unlock it, and you don't get a trophy for unlocking it or anything like that, but I was quite pleased to get it unlocked nonetheless, even though I haven't really played as Paradox terribly often. But if you've got the hegemony credits to spare, well, you might as well, because you hopefully get started off with some reasonable weaponry and items to just make your life that little bit easier. And any perk in this game is worth having. Why is that not dead yet? What about you? Where are you going to? There we are, gotcha. Oh. And a key that's... It's not as if the keys are of no use. You could try going to the oubliette, since don't need the keys for chests. Yeah, I mean, some of the way the game works depends on what you get given at any stage in proceedings as to how you then choose to play the game. Usually at some point you'll be making a choice that forces you to do one thing or another. The bottle is cheap, but I think relatively useless. You can carry things like ammo crates or hearts into it. Gun friendship, that makes me better at my gunmanship, which has been no bad thing really, but it is only an active item, so a temporary effect. We'll see what else comes up before we fully commit to doing anything in particular. So yeah, what I mean by forcing you to do one thing or another is if, for example, you needed to junk a chest because you hadn't got the keys to open it, and there's always the potential to get something good out of a chest by destroying it, even if it is literally junk, still useful. I don't think I said in my robot video, actually, it is useful for the robot because any junk improves his attack strength. And another thing I didn't mention in the robot video, so it's probably not best said here really, but oh look, a mimic, fancy that. Yeah, if you encounter spice, if you're playing as a human character or one that uses heart health, then the spice eventually starts hurting you by taking hearts away from you. Initially it gives you the hearts. Speaking of which, we'll have that. Is that the snowballer? Yeah, crap, but we'll have it. Yes, so if you take Spice as the robot, because he doesn't have hearts, he can't lose hearts. Can't gain any in the first couple of uses of Spice either, but he does get the damage up each time, so bit of junk, bit of Spice as the robot, and you can make yourself very strong indeed. That's one sort of way it forces you to play, but the example I was going to give before I sidetracked myself, which if you haven't already noticed is something I managed to do with astonishing frequency in these videos. But yes, if you junk to chest and it would turn out that it was Sir Junken rather than just an ordinary bit of junk, then it's very much in your interest to start junking every chest to improve the strength of Sir Junken when he reaches his final form, which is when you have, I think, 7 other bits of junk. He himself doesn't count as the first bit of junk, unfortunately. Then he's a very strong character indeed. Let's try pummeling this mimic with the snowballer and see how that does the job. Where are you? Did I get? Oh, he's frozen him. That is a perk of the snowballer, I suppose. And then table tech of some description. Table tech shotgun. Sure, there must be some tables around that haven't flipped yet. I'll demonstrate what that does. Not much use in the empty room, but if you're in the right place in a combat room, then it's definitely useful. The thing with table techs is just forgetting you have them. Yeah, take that, take that. Okay, and another use for the snowballer. You can put out the fire without having to mess around with the water barrels, so even if the water barrel does get destroyed, you've still got a means of doing it. Which, yeah, is, I think the first time I got into the Oubliette was courtesy of using the snowballer. I might be wrong. Right, what am I using here? I should have really thought about that earlier on. Let's use the flash ray because it at least shoots across the shrubbery that populates this particular arena. Yeah, fairly inaccurate and not doing all that much damage, but it's got a long range, fast firing, and he's now empty. Let's try the snowballer. Might get some freezing effects on him, which could be helpful. Slow him down. Oh. And that's why I like trying to avoid attacks rather than dodge over them, is because where you end up with the dodge roll can be just as unfavourable as the position you started the dodge roll from, and you're committed to it once it starts. But yeah, you may have spotted I also took a second hit as well, which definitely wasn't anything to do with dodge rolling, that was just my own failings. So we still managed to beat him anyway. No master round, which is unfortunate, but at least got some health back. Let's top up the flash ray since it's empty. Now, all the chests are mimics. What about the pedestals? I think it just blinked, didn't it? Yes, it was a mimic. God, they are hard to spot. I think this might mean that it drops 2 items now as well. Whatever was sat on top of the pedestal itself, and then a hidden thing too. Okay. So yes, there's the pulse cannon. And is that the plunger? It is the plunger. Right, okay. Well, I think there was some surplus health that I'm now going to need, so for once it's actually useful to have surplus health at the end of the level, even if I can't sell it to the vampire. They stop you getting knocked back, they're not terribly useful, I'm not going to bother with them. Dueling pistol. I think that's very slow firing, but does decent damage. I think more than anything else, I'm going to try and hang on to the cash for the rat key, just in case all the rat chests are mimics. It remains to be seen if we actually get past the rat fight. I wouldn't rate my chances on it, which is why the quest for the finished gun could be such an ongoing series. Right, okay, do the usual, check for the secret rooms. Not here. And then we'll head off to just the oubliette, isn't it? Then we'll go to next. Not there. What about the exit room? Probably not that wall, shouldn't bother checking that. No, possibly the shop. No. Okay, oubliette it is. And yeah, already got another spare key as well. I'm sure we'll see more getting dropped along the way since we don't have to use them up opening the chests anymore. And then that'll open the hatch to the rat fight as well, where we will potentially find out if my theory about chest mimics applies to those chests as well. Right, let's try using the pulse cannon for a bit. I mean, despite sounding like a beam weapon, I think it's actually a shotgun type weapon. Oops, needed to reload there, come on. What to top up? I'll top that one up just to make it full, and then it puts 10% into everything else as well. So should be more or less full for everything, yeah. Oh, for goodness sakes. Yeah, I think the description of this weapon in the Ammonolican is time of death. Yeah, time of death. But it's decent, but I don't think it's quite as guaranteed a killer as the description implies it might be. Oh, that was sneaky, spawning up behind me. Okay, I mean ordinarily that's an incredibly easy trap room anyway, but since I don't even have to go through the traps, it makes it incredibly easy. Oh, what the hell was that? I think that was me wanting to make sure I'd walked out of the poison before I started taking damage from it myself. And walking straight into a bullet, like a noob. But do I have poison immunity for some reason or other? Oh, I've got the plunger, haven't I? That probably does give me poison immunity. Let's find out. Yep. So the tactic of walking out of the poison was entirely flawed logic anyway. Oh, bum. Yeah, probably not going to see the rat fight like this, are we? This is pretty long range for a shotgun, which is good. What with me? Oh, liking to stay out of trouble. Not that that was a good demonstration of staying out of trouble. These things on their own are fairly straightforward to deal with because you just stand in front of them and they will miss the shots that go either side. But they become a lot more problematic when there's other things getting at you as well and refusing you the luxury of being able to just stand still. Okay, oh yeah, that needs topping up. Let's have a look in the shop, see what else is around. Yeah, don't care for the bomb. The map will show secret rooms, which I haven't had any luck finding so far, but I don't know if it's really worth the expenditure, and I haven't got a means of stealing it, I don't think. No, I don't think any of those would be any good. Just in case you're ever tempted to try holding up the shop and robbing the guy, don't do it. The first time you shoot, he gives you a friendly warning. If you continue to shoot, he doubles his prices, and if you still continue to shoot, he will flood the area with bullets of his own, and then permanently close the shops up for that floor and every other floor. You'll still get the blacksmith's forge on the 5th floor if you survive that long. Sorry, just a sec, my telly's going into a timeout and puts the warning right across the play screen. Tends to happen exactly at a busy moment rather than now when you're not actually doing anything. Quite a handy feature though, since I do constantly fall asleep in front of the TV, so just saves a bit of electricity by going into standby versus being on pointlessly the entire time while I'm snoring away on the sofa. But a little irritating when you're deep into a gaming session. However, right, yes. So the shops, you'll still get a blacksmith shop on the 5th floor because that's a different shopkeeper. But the chances of making it to the 5th floor without being reliant on any other shop in the game are, I think, remote. You know, unless you're an extremely capable player. And well, clearly I'm not taking hits like that. Yeah, so you want to keep the main shopkeeper on side. Similarly, you don't want to let him catch you thieving. There are means to thieve, but he's good at catching you. Oh, I got snagged on the table there. Why won't these things die? Let's try something that's more likely to hit them at least. There we are. Once you've got some of them out of the way, improved. Oh, for fuck's sake. As soon as I say it, once you've got one out of the way, you've at least got slightly more safe spots to stand in the room as I cop a bullet straight in the face. Yeah, go on. Twice. Oh, God. And I almost missed that second wave spawning in as I totally face-palmed. This, yeah, talk of getting to the rat fight, I'm looking unlikely to actually make it off this floor. Is that actually hurting the mushroom dude? Yeah, anytime you want to drop some health, that would be nice. I think these guys are poison immune, but they're not immune to just being hit by the weapon in itself. Although it's not super powerful without the poison effects that it also does. Okay. Yeah, well, having said that the Paradox offers an advantage over other players, you're not really seeing that since I've only made it into a second floor. Admittedly, the Oubliette is harder than other floors, as ably demonstrated straight off the bat. How long was that? 20 minutes. We'll have a second run, see how we get on. Yeah, we'll keep the modifiers. And yeah, hopefully something I like a little bit better. I mean, that mimic tooth necklace was more of a curse than a blessing, I think. most of the mimics hit us, and it wasn't as if we were actually hurting for keys as it was. Oh dear, what is going on here? Must have been some bats in that room. I'm pretty sure there was some bat projectiles floating around the place. Right, I forgot to have a little look at what he's actually carrying. So the rogue special, which is the pilot's weapon, isn't it? Which is dreadful. And then the strafe gun, which I think ordinarily costs about 144 credits to buy, so it tends to remain out of your reach as a purchase on most runs. So that's a definite plus point to having straight off the bat. And Amulet of the Pit Lord is, I think, pretty crappy. It prevents fall damage, so if you do fall into pits, you don't take damage, which is good. On the other hand, I like to not fall into pits, but there are definitely videos of me up on the channel doing exactly that already, so it's not the best passive to have gone for, but it certainly doesn't hurt. And I think, yeah, this weapon does damage once it's being reloaded. Let's make absolutely sure I understand how it's working. Explosive nails that detonate when the trigger is released or after a brief period of time. So yeah, so best fired in bursts rather than continuously. Yeah, that did the job. Poorly timed reload. But yeah, it's making very short work of the bullet kin. And with the blobs, because they separate, definitely worth holding back rather than just letting rip on them. So one drawback, of course, is that we'll definitely be on the lookout for ammunition now. We'll see what other chests we get before we commit to opening any of those. Shop is locked off at the minute. Probably means it's out. The left door out here will lead to it. Maybe not directly, but eventually. Yeah, I'm not going to bother opening that just yet. So my theory about the left-hand door was completely wrong. So presumably then the bottom door out of this room will be what eventually leads us to the shop. Okay, a couple of keys, so some opportunities to open chests and or the oubliette entrance. Given my poor performance on the oubliette on the first half of this video, I think we'll be using the chests rather than the oubliette. You've got literally nothing for sale. How bizarre. I mean, he's got the basic items as hearts, ammo, keys, and one blank, but usually he's got some weapon or some item for sale. Open up the oubliette. Oh, that was a bit of a misfire there. The barrel can pop on bits of debris if you're not too careful, so that's why I cleared it out of the way. But I meant to go horizontal rather than vertical at first. So where's that opened up? Can't actually see. There it is, right at the top. Shall we just get straight into the boss fight? Usually like to make sure you're in as good a position as possible by seeing what other goodies you might get around the level before going in. So we will do that. You never know, there might be a super duper chest. Blue and brown are what we've seen so far, which aren't great. it's not impossible. The brown chest is a rainbow chest in disguise, either one. Apparently, I found this out reading the wiki earlier. If you've got the Mega Dowser, which is a generally pretty rubbish weapon, it will, if you spray a brown chest that is a rainbow chest in disguise, it'll wash off the brown paint and reveal its true rainbowy colours. But let's face it, they're incredibly rare, so it's unlikely that either of these is. So since there is a blue chest around the place, I'm going to go open that. Teleport beside it at least, which is helpful. It's the trash cannon. Don't mind the trash cannon. It can end up poisoning the player as well as the enemies. And I'll open up one of the brown chests. See what we get. So it's going to be an item rather than a weapon, and the brown chest items are still sometimes quite good. That was strange. Oh, I've done a boo-boo. I opened a blue chest that wasn't one of the regularly generated chests on the floor. So having got a weapon out of it, I thought I'd opened one of the two standard chests, and the other one would definitely be an item. It's not. It's the crossbow, which is just going to be something to keep in reserve. It's not a terribly great weapon. So let's buy a key and open up the other chest as well. We might as well. So this should be an item now, and it's a Molotov, which is part of the convicts opening armory. As long as this isn't a flying boss, I'll probably throw a few Molotovs at them. It's not. There we go. Have a Molotov, lads. Is that recharged yet? Oh, that was a cheap hit. The little ones, they're usually not much bother, but they don't keep an eye on them, then they can cause you problems like they just did. So no flawless victory, no master round, which is a bit unfortunate considering it's a pretty decent setup going into that fight. Health I now can't use. Oh, consolation prize. We actually do get an extra heart worth of health, although we could have had two had we got the master round as well. Definitely refill the strafe gun, because it did make short work of the bosses, even if I managed to miss one of their little henchmen. I haven't got any keys, so we're not going to the oubliette, but we will quickly look for secret rooms, as ever. And yeah, should use a different weapon to check for them. Can't use that one. Let's use the crossbow. Doesn't seem to be here for sure, does it? Sometimes they look a little like they're cracking, they can trick you. I mean, the cracks are usually pretty distinctive. But don't think we're seeing any here. So, usual story, fire them off in the shop. Oh, for once, there we are. All my promises that the shop sometimes has the secret room have proved to not be a complete lie. Doesn't... I mean, that's a generous amount of health, but unfortunately can't make any use of it at all, which is really irritating. And yet more health. What have we got? Is that the Winchester? Winchester rifle. Yeah, oh well, so it's a free weapon anyway, so it hasn't trolled us completely, although that sweetie container, to use my friend's phrase, has got probably more health in it than I'm actually carrying at the moment, which is... I want it. I need it to boost me. Never mind. Right, let's just head off to the second floor and see if I can avoid taking the cheap hits on this one. Yeah, I'm definitely liking this paradox setup better than the the previous one, just because the strafe gun is so good. You know, it's very effective as a room clearer, and also very effective against bosses as well. It's got really long range, really fast firing, really accurate. And with the sort of secondary explosion that it does as well, as long as you don't go mad with it, you can keep the ammo going for quite a while. That's probably its biggest drawback, is trying to keep it full of ammo. But I didn't take too many hits to destroy one of those shotgun kin, did it? Is that one dead? It took quite a few there. Okay, let's top up the ammo, having just said how precious it is. What are you going to give us good? Oh, more ammo. Is that room completely empty otherwise? How bizarre. Now, I could try surprising the rat so I can get to leave that ammo there just a little bit longer. Let's give it a go, since that weapon is so full. Seems a bit stupid to use it just yet. There you go, rat. Go on, bugger off. Right, so now I should be able to go one room in any given direction without him stealing the ammo. Find out just how true that is. Great irony of getting more ammo immediately. Right, let's pick that one up and refill. And it's still there, and then we've got a mini boss above, so hopefully, even though we'll be engaged with the boss for a little while, hopefully there will be still ammo to come back to, although the Fusilier itself tends to, the mini bosses tend to give you a bit of an ammo drop. They're usually quite generous with the drops you get after a mini boss fight, although they can be quite challenging. Oof. As far as I understand it though, they don't have a damage cap like the main bosses do, so if you've got something super duper powerful you can take them out in a single shot, which is extremely satisfying. So what have we got? We've got a key, we've got a map, 1 hegemony credit, and that's not a mimic, so we'll open it straight up. Is that the honeycomb? I think that means if you get hit you drop bees, so yeah, so you at least have a bit of a means of doing some return damage to an enemy that does shoot you. Okay, so it's the shop beside us. Haven't got a whole lot of cash. Could buy ourselves a discount in the shop. Oh, well, we can't, just have not got enough money. There's a red chest in there. Right, let's head for the red chest. And then there's another chest beside it as well in a secret room. How are we getting in there? With a long walk by the look of it, downwards out of the mini boss fight. And then, because it's a one-way door, round this way. I worried that was going to be a lead maiden coming in there. Oh, more ammo. Yes. Yep. Terminate with extreme prejudice. Nothing actually gets to shoot at you, poses very little threat at all. Right, what have you got for us? It's not a mimic, is it? No. It doesn't look like a super powerful gun, but I might be wrong. It's come out of a red chest, it must be pretty good. Massive explosive rounds. That sounds alright, doesn't it? We'll just have a very quick check that this is the way into the secret room. It's bound to be, isn't it? Yes, it is. Go straight in. There's another chest to be got. Does need a key though. Never mind. Okay, we know it's there. It's one more thing to come back to. Where are we going next? We've got another blue chest naturally occurring. Yeah, okay, we'll start heading up out of the shop. Oh, I don't think I am actually OCD, but I've left that door unlocked, and it annoys me. Although you can teleport straight back into the shop's really not a problem. But I like opening them for completeness' sake. Right, these things actually take a little while to spawn in, so you can waste your ammo if you start firing too early. Let's hope the grenade takes them out, yes. Best time to be reloading. No, still not everyone dead. That's it now. Something got blown up, didn't really see what it was. Okay, still no keys, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Frifle early on asked you to hunt those bullet shark things. That room's a good one to get if you're doing that particular hunting quest, because there's loads of them in that room. Right, okay. So yeah, we might as well clear these few rooms out and hope to get something dropped, keys preferably. Doing alright for health at the moment. Oh, could miss that teleport. Dynamite doing some of the work for us there, always helpful. Trying to conserve the ammo here just as much as possible. Oh, that wasn't exactly the drop I was hoping for, because nice as it is to have all these chests, it would be nice to open them. So in some ways I just kind of wish we had that Mimic Tooth necklace back from the last run. That's another thing I do, is I sometimes get confused if I'm having a bit of a session playing on this game. You start thinking you've got items that you picked up on a previous run and playing with those in mind, and then ending up not being able to do what you wanted because you haven't got the item you thought, which is definitely unfortunate. So hopefully we're going to get some keys dropped by the boss. What we're going to use as a backup weapon. Oh, let's have a look at that thing with the explosive rounds. Get a couple off with that to start with. One is precisely how many you get away with for the Gorgon. Oh, I thought I timed that right. Frozen. Yeah, it's doing decent damage to her. The two-shot magazine is unfortunately a little bit unfriendly, and that you can't get to shoot quite as much as you like. She's surrounded herself by poison there, making her quite a hard target. So let's change over to the strafe gun, which is more accurate. Is that her dead yet? Seriously, come on. Oh, there we are. I think we managed to flawless there. Yes, we did. Jolly good. Right, and there is a key as well. Hurrah. Oh, hang on. What am I doing? Letting her, a little statue, carry on. It has to be shot. It's the done thing. I've had this Krull glaive thing a couple of times recently as well. Strange how we're on such a randomised game, why we're seeing some things get repeated. Gun Muncher and the altar room, just for the sake of things, although it was fairly obvious that was the case from the map. I was going to say let's look for secret rooms. Absolutely no point with the map having already revealed them for us. So 3 blue chests to choose from. Have we opened any of the naturally occurring ones? That's a naturally occurring one. Oh, a red one, yes. What did we get out of the red chest? Remind me. It was the weapon, wasn't it? So the blue chests are items. Okay, well let's go see what the item is. Okay, that gives us one of the nuisance factors of this game is only being able to carry 1 active item. So that coin does give us a discount in shops if we're holding on to it, but I don't really want to sacrifice the Molotov for it. The other thing it does is if you flip it 3 times, which I'm going to do now just to use it up, because I hate leaving things around for the rat to steal, is that will then make there be 3 rooms at random where the enemies are pre-killed for you, which is, depending on what room it is, quite helpful. I think the effect carries on to the following floor. Not absolutely sure about that. We'll find out when we get there. Right, so we can afford 1 key. Do we want the chest that dropped or the chest that's in the secret room? Try the one in the secret room. Cannot believe that. Mind you, having said the Amulet of the Pit Lord wasn't going to be much use, it was there. So, I can't remember what that is. Oil cylinder, reload faster. That's definitely worth having. So the only thing really left to do is just destroy the other chest, and there's an outside possibility we'll get the contents, or we might get something semi-useful out of it. It's some junk, which has given us a synergy of some kind with Oscar the Grouch with the trash cannon. I wonder what that does. Looks like it does more of a ricochet than it normally does. Okay, are we poison immune with that? Let's just give it another quick try. No, we're not. That could be a bit of a drawback. Right, okay, off to the 3rd floor and see what we're going to do down there. Where's the exit gone? There it is. Yeah, some of these little loading times for the levels are seeming just a little bit longer than usual, and just making me worry slightly that the game's frozen, but seemingly not. Okay, let's try and deal with the things that are actually shooting before I deal with those things. Just use the Kruller glaive on those. Since you essentially hit everything in the room. Maybe not absolutely everything, but there we are. They are hit. Could definitely do with a top up on the ammo for the strafe guns. Not urgent just yet. We'll carry on using it. There was rats there. Been sacrificed for the greater good. Well, my good. Let's try the Cruller Glaive again, since it should hit that thing around the corner, which is definitely the easiest way to deal with it. Shambling rounds, I think those are called. Those are another one of the later hunts that you have to do for Frightful. You don't see them all that often, so that's a relatively challenging hunt. Some of his later ones are really hard. There's the rat hatch. Didn't deliberately uncover it, but it is uncovered. Okay, let's go back to the strafe gun. No, straight into a chest room. Not a mimic, not got a key. Right. It's unusual to see them quite that quickly. Normally chest rooms are fairly well spaced away from the entrance. That was a very unfortunate hit, I think. Well, all hits are unfortunate. That blooming enemy copying my playing style by hiding out of harm's way. Okay, another trap room. Not terribly fiendish, I think we'll just nip round this corner bit. Although the floors are trapdoors there. Doing alright for health, really. Could be slightly better. Oh, that's the Lost Adventurer behind there. That is probably worth a key in terms of the reward he's likely to give us. How much are keys? No point buying it just yet. Ooh, now that's useful. So we've got some spare health already, so let's sell her some. And let's have it back. That's just the one for the time being. Got enough for Cog of Battle. I had that in one of my recent videos as well. Like I say, things are coming up repeatedly, slightly more often than I might expect. That's very expensive for a Guanstone. I think the red one is one that does some shooting for you. It's not a bad one to have, but that's still expensive. Ew, don't like those cannons. What with them being invulnerable, which is just rude. I mean, potentially we can have invulnerability every so often. It's not rude then, it's classy then. Ooh, and, oh, right. Go away. Got a little bit more focused on the shambling round, which is slowly but surely shambling after us. Shambling round after us. Let's use the same tactics again. Take him out with the Cruller Glaive, especially when he's stunned. Can't shoot back when he's stunned. Perhaps be using the Cruller Glaive as my opening weapon and going into any given room, really. For that exact reason. Stunned people can't shoot. Right, there we are, let's replenish that health. Although, potentially that was something we could have sold to the Vampire Woman. Is that down to 5? Oh dear, we definitely need ammo then. Yeah, that guy that I just knocked into the lava, that's... I don't know the exact name for them, a Jammermancer possibly, but they make other enemies jammed, so Well, they don't pose much threat themselves. You definitely want them to be taken out quite quickly before they start turning other enemies into jammed enemies who could potentially be filling the room with double damage bullets, which you definitely don't want. Why aren't you stunned? There you are again. Okay, that's it. He's gone. Oh, that was unfortunate. Got a key. What chest did we have? It's just... oh, it's the... might use that for the Lost Adventurer, although we haven't fully mapped the level just yet. Yeah, the green chest, so... I'm anticipating that the Adventurer will give us a slightly better reward than a green chest. Might be wrong, but we will see. Okay, so that must be fully mapped out then. Looks that way. Okay, yeah, let's use the key to get in there and see what he's got for us. Oh, I don't like that one. It does very good damage, but let's fire in a different room rather than risk upsetting him. Yeah, it sends you sailing away, so if I'd been any nearer that pit, I'd have been in it. So that's a definite drawback to it, and as I think I've said before, I don't like being forced to get too close up with the other enemies in the game. So I think I'll buy a key and see what's in the green chest, and then do the boss fight, where you never know, we might get another key. Yeah, that's not bad. What are we going to use? All 5 shots that are left in that. We'll try the judge against the boss. May not be the best move we've got, but I'll give it a go. I think I got very lucky with some of the dodge rolls there. And not those ones, which typically are easy. Where are you? Don't like getting trapped against the wall by him. Also don't really like it when he starts rolling around like a mad lad, because it's quite easy to end up in his path by accident. He's hidden again. Outrageous behaviour. Right, do we have anything that's a slightly better weapon against him? Not on a full pause here, by the way. You don't get that luxury. It does slow things down a bit when you're checking your weapons out. But yeah, that didn't really seem to be doing huge amounts of damage to him. Possibly because I wasn't hitting him. Yeah, okay, let's try going back to the judge again. Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay, well, not really ideal, but he is down. What do we have? Can't really see what's on that pedestal. Is that it's a chest teleporter, is it? I think what that does is move a chest to the next floor and possibly improve the quality of the chest. Certainly moves the chest to the next floor. I don't know if that's in addition to the usual 2 or if it replaces one of the 2 that are there. Have I got any easy way of using that? With the, 'cause there was a chest left, wasn't there? Maybe if we're super quick, we can get back and retrieve the Molotov before the rat does us dirty. In fact, actually, if we go straight back,